Okay, so here's a closer look at the performance of the Teclast X3 Pro. So this one has the latest generation Core M3 6Y30 and 8 gigabytes of RAM, which is 4 gigabytes more than the Cube i9 Stylus. So I just want to go over a couple of things. These are the default settings that we have when it comes to the power limits. They're using a 6 watt Turbo Boost Power Max. Now I think the Surface Pro 4 M3 uses about a 7 watt max there. So power is being limited a little bit, and we do see some power limit throttling. You can see right here with some of the benchmarks that I was doing. The same thing happened with the Cube i9, which was also running into some power limiting. So you don't get any thermal throttling, at least not yet. Now some of the benchmarks I did run, I have them up here. So I did go through 3D Mark 11. That is the score I got there. I also tested out that dual band AC wireless, and the speeds are quite good. My desktop gets about 50 megabits per second download when it's connected up with the cable going straight into the router, and about 25 upload. So these speeds are fine, quite good there. And CloudGate score is slightly higher than the Cube i9. And the Ice Storm Extreme actually worked out to be a little bit lower than the Cube i9, but the scores are quite similar. And here we have the Ice Storm, just a standard Ice Storm test, which scored higher than the Cube i9 here, probably being helped maybe a little bit by the extra RAM on board, possibly. And 3D Mark 11, I did another test, and I think the tablet must have been a little bit cooler, because what it got here was quite a bit faster for some reason than the original score there. You see all the scores are up, physics score and everything. So that is quite good, I think, for a fanless tablet, this score at least. And then the Geekbench 3 score here, which yet again came out a tad faster than my Cube i9, my one that I was running before I did my thermal mod, that is. So this tablet could probably benefit from something similar like what I did on the Cube i9, to open it up and put a copper heatsink on top of the Core M3, and if you could get away with it, increase those power limits. Now I did actually see temperatures get up to 94 degrees, but right here at the moment with my current test at the moment, the testing that I've been doing, those benchmarks that I've been running, it only got up to 82. But I really needed to do more continuous benchmarks there to push it to 94. Unfortunately, I experienced a complete reset of the system. I don't know, I think it might have been Windows Update was updating something, and it forced the whole system just to reset on me. So I lost the screen capture I had, and was about to actually take one when it got up to 94 degrees. It didn't have any thermal throttling, but I'm pretty sure it wouldn't have been too far away from actually having a bit of throttling there. Maybe only 1 degree, or it's probably 95 when it triggers off the throttling there. So another couple of things too, just I wanted to point out that I did actually encounter some sort of bloatware or spyware adware that has been pre-installed on this image, and that's something I haven't actually come across before, at least not on the Cube. Not at all good to see. I don't particularly trust this Windows 10 image they have used now. I'm not too sure whether it was my seller that has pre-installed this. I doubt Teclast would have put this on there. If they have, then that is absolute rubbish they're doing this. But it came up with this big pop-up Chinese thing in here. I don't know what it is. And there was another user also on the techtablets.com forum who has a X3 Pro, also commented that he had some sort of pre-installed bloatware thing popping up. So it might be wise that if you're going to be buying this particular model, just to completely wipe Windows and install your own copy, just to play it safe. Now you'll see the stylus is here, the active stylus. I have just done a quick little test in OneNote, which does support the pressure sensitivity. You can see there's a fine line and a thicker line. Now because this has a screen protector already pre-applied from the factory, I noticed that straight away when you start to use the stylus, like I'll just push very light here, you can see the very fine line. The thicker, the harder you push, you can definitely see that it supports pressure sensitivity there, but it is marking the screen protector. So you're probably going to have to remove the screen protector, otherwise it's just going to end up a big scratched up mess there, which isn't good, but it's a problem we have with these Chinese tablets that don't have Gorilla Glass of any form on there, that you're going to end up scratching those screen protectors up. So you probably want to buy maybe a tempered glass protector, but that's going to add thickness to this display and no doubt could affect the performance of how it detects the pressure sensitivity. So writing on it, it does have the palm rejection, at least as far as I can tell, at least here in using OneNote. And you can, in fact, of course, right here, I'm just going to write hello. And you can see that it's already, not sure where that can be picked up on the camera. It's just marking the hell out of the screen protector. So this stylus does seem to work quite well. And I've noticed just using it, I'm not a big stylus user, I will admit that I honestly don't really know too much about them because I don't use them too much, but I know that it's definitely a lot better than the likes of the stylus that comes with the T-Book 10, which is what I would call a dumb stylus. It has no pressure sensitivity, and if you've seen the video I posted on that one about a week ago, it's hopeless, it's useless, you can't even write properly with it. It just goes all over the place. There's no palm rejection as far as I could tell, and it just completely useless. You can't even do the strokes between lifted up. So detection, you can see as soon as you hover it over the page, it will show up. Okay, it's not showing up in this application, but on desktop you can see it puts a little dot there. No, actually it's not doing that now. Now it is when it's actually in use. And overall, the accuracy seems quite good. So battery life, we're looking around 4.5 to 5 hours. At the moment I am running 75% screen brightness because I'm just recording at the moment. And the screen brightness too also I find to be quite good. It's bright enough to be used, not outdoors, no. I wouldn't say you could. With the screen protector on at least, it is reflections. I mean, using it 100% outdoors, you can make out roughly what you're doing there, but I don't really know anyone that uses tablets in direct sunlight. I certainly wouldn't myself, but indoors it is perfectly fine. Quite bright, I find that I would never actually be running it at 100%. Indoors I normally stick with 20, 25 or even 50% I find is good enough for me. So battery time isn't exactly wonderful. None of the Chinese Coriums have particularly good battery life. They are all around 5.5, 4.5 hours depending on what you're doing. I haven't really been doing anything that intensive here at the moment. This is just an estimate. I'm using Battery Bar Pro here. I haven't had enough time to actually sit down and use the tablet solely for the whole time to run the battery out completely and have a look. But that will be posted on the full review, which will be written up on techtablets.com when I do actually get time to do that. And also we'll have some videos coming up later on just to test out a few popular games like Counter-Strike Global Offensive, League of Legends, Dota 2, etc. to see how those perform on this tablet. But those games should be playable with lower settings and resolutions there. So that is just now the first video, just covering a little bit on the stylus and the performance there. Some people probably mention any Teclast X2 Pro owners out there might say that they can get similar scores on their own tablets. That's great. You probably could actually, especially if you've already done like a thermal mod or a power limit mod. You could even beat these scores here quite easily, I think. But this is probably a good contender, this tablet as well, to be opened up and have the heatsink changed, put some copper in there, and tweak the power limits like I did with the Cube i9. Something you shouldn't have to do, but if you do want to squeeze in additional power out of these tablets, then that's all we have. Thanks for watching this video, and hopefully see you back in the channel soon.